One of the other big stories of the day, 28-year-old Tshegofatso Pule was laid to rest today. The 8-month pregnant woman was found stabbed and hanging from a tree in Roodepoort, west of Johannesburg. While there have been no arrests, it's suspected Pule joins the many South African women who have lost their lives to gender-based violence. To discuss, we're joined by the SABC's Thabiso Sithole. He was at the funeral today. Thabiso, can we first start with any leads? Many questions around who and why someone would stab a pregnant woman and hang her from a tree.
Indeed, Francis, as you said, this has been a tough one. This was probably one of the toughest stories as a journalist I've had to cover. And unfortunately, so far, there have been no leads as far as the police have confirmed or said to us. And it's part of what the family has said as well. The family over the past 2 days have stressed that videos on social media, videos on hypotheses and videos of theories, conspiracy theories on how this would have gone down should cease, because they like justice to be had for Tshegofatso Pule. In particular, Francis, the fact that just 4 years ago, Tshegofatso's cousin was killed as well in Johannesburg. And the aunt to Tshegofatso today was pleading to the Minister of Police, as well as the President, saying, look, it cannot be that 4 years ago you came to this very family and you told us this is a high-profile case. We're going to get justice for your son. And today she was burying her niece and there was no justice for her niece from that case. So as far as leads are concerned, we do not want to get ahead of ourselves. There are rumors about the fact that Tshegofatso was seen leaving the apartment in Roodepoort. In fact, that is a fact, that she was seen leaving an apartment in Roodepoort, getting into a silver vehicle, whether it was a meter cab or it was a car, a jeep. We're not sure about that. That's why I do not want to go that far and say this is what has been said until the police come to us and tell us that these are the facts and these are the findings so far.
All right, so we'll wait for suspects in that case. Her funeral today, like you said, this family, a history of pain due to violence. Was there any surprise, Thabiso, that there weren't mass demonstrations? Of course, there are regulations, but like when Uyinene Montana died, where some would say is the same outrage.
Look, Francis, I can tell you now, as fact, again, we were there early in this morning, as early as Morning Live on our sister channel, SABC2, as well as on the SABC News channel. The road leading to Tshegofatso's home had to be cordoned off. The military were there, police were there in huge numbers. In fact, the former spokesperson of the EFF, Economic Freedom Fighters, Moise was also there. And during his speech to the mourners there, he actually spoke about the fact that how many police had been there to stop the 50-person rule, if I can call it that, of COVID-19 funerals. And outside of the barricades, people came in their numbers, Francis. The streets of Middlelands, as we drove through to the cemetery at the Dobsonville Cemetery, were lined with people, normal, everyday South Africans. All of them, most of them had their fists raised up in demonstration, particularly with women, well, from women, apologies, who were saying it cannot be that every day South African women are killed, in particular GBV, by men who are supposed to be their partners, by men who are supposed to be their protectors. And like you said, it is a touching one, in particular because as well, Tshegofatso's uncle was actually the lawyer to the convicted Sandile Monso. Remember, Sandile Monso killed a lady back in 2008, Karabo Mukwena. That was in 2018, apologies. And Sandile Monso got 32 years for that murder. His uncle, or not his uncle, rather, Tshegofatso's uncle was his lawyer. Today, at the funeral of his niece, he said he will no longer will he represent rapists, murderers, because it has hit home for him, and that's it.
Sure.
Was left with us was, what are we doing as men in South Africa?
All right, thank you very much. That was SABC News reporter Thabiso Sithole. And